Dan with Guardian Mold Prevent here. Want to take a look at a home with you that has a basement mold issue located in Hinsdale, Illinois. In this home, there was two water leaks that took place. One was in a ceiling at the front of the basement, and the other was in a lower portion of a wall. Water got in and actually filled this basement up. The sump pump was out at the time that it happened, and so there was nothing to get the water out. It sat for several days. And there were at one point several inches of water in this basement. We will take a look here shortly, and we'll see the areas where the water was coming in. But as you can see, the drywall has been covered with mold, and it's growing. Now we're looking here at the area where the water is still coming in. There is water on the floor, and as we pan up, you'll see where there was a leak in the ceiling, and the actual ceiling came down. There is mold growing there as well. So the porous material in this basement, the high cellulose products like the drywall, the insulation, the paper on the insulation, these materials are all affected with mold growth. And then as we go up into the second floor of the home, it's actually an attic that was converted into some living space. We can even see that there's some mold at the base of a wall here, where moisture was coming in, leaking around the window, and mold has developed behind the baseboard and then started to grow up onto the walls in this particular space. I want to talk about a few things with you, some terms. When we talk about porous materials, we're talking about drywall, trim, insulation, pressed fiberboard, paneling, items that are porous. When we're talking about semi-porous items, we're talking about framing members, things like wood. And then as we're talking about non-porous building materials, we're talking about concrete, whether it be a slab floor, whether it be a poured foundation wall, whether it be a foundation floor in a basement. These are three different distinct types of building materials that we see on a regular basis. Now when we're dealing with a mold issue, what we do is we come in, we set up containment in that area, we put an air scrubber in, which is a negative air machine. It'll create negative air pressure so that no air will exchange with the rest of the living space while we're working, and it will remove the mold spores from the air. We then discard and remove the porous materials we talked about before, drywall, trim, insulation, paneling, anything that is porous that has mold in it has to be discarded. We then treat the semi-porous materials like the non-porous materials with a biocide, so the framing and anything that's concrete. Then we scrub those items down and treat them with a mold-resistant coating. Now this is a look really briefly at one of our air scrubbers. As you can see at the very top, there's a blue filter. Below that is a pleated filter, much like you'd see that goes into your furnace. And then underneath that pleated filter is a 12-inch HEPA filter. It runs all the air through HEPA filtration, and we take all the spores out of the air. And this is actually a picture of what it looks like once we've applied the mold-resistant coating. It's white in color many times. We do have a clear product. But we have removed, as you can see, the porous material. So the drywall, trim, and insulation in this picture were removed. Everything was treated with a biocide, scrubbed down, and then the acrylic-based mold-resistant coating is applied. Then we leave the air scrubber that we looked at before running for several days just to work towards getting that air quality to an acceptable level.